I'm Wendy Guimau, and I'm talking to you about the Constructors Technique Toolbox. This is the second toolbox in the set of 4 that goes along with the Music for Young Children program. So this is the first year for 7-8-year-olds in our Moonbeams 1, and the second year for our Sunbeam 2 children who started at 5 and 6 years old. So it would go along with any beginner private in their first or second year of lessons as well. So there's 4 elements in the toolbox. I give my children a binder when they first get their beginning toolbox, whether it's the basic one or this one, the Constructors. And I purchase page protectors for them to keep all of their pages in, keep them good, because when you collect your tools, you have to keep them protected, and you have to polish them up, and you have to make sure they don't get rusty. So you have to review them, right, over the years, not just this year. Go back in your toolbox and look at the ones that we learned other years. So the first element that I'll show you is the Scales and Skills card. So they're all transportation vehicles on this picture. If you've used our toolboxes previously, you'll be really glad to know that these stickers are kiss cut, and the students just pick them off and put them on the back. We don't have to cut these stickers out. We don't have to store them, find them, worry about them at all. We just give them the whole card to the student at the beginning of the year, and as we learn these scales and skills, tell them, oh, today we get to sticker all the G major stuff, or whatever we're working on. And so when we put together the Technique Toolbox 2.0, we were trying to look for ways to ease up the teacher's load, so it didn't take so much time for them to organize, and not only before class but in class, because we're so busy. We have a lot to get through in an hour lesson, so this is one step forward in that. So we'll just hand them out at the beginning of the year and sticker them together once every 3 or 4 lessons. It takes much less time. But they're still excited to get these things done. It'll make a frame around the outside, and they're wondering how it's going to finish up and into the middle. This goes along with the RCM Prep A exam. So when they finish, they're ready for that exam if you care to enter it. Or if not, at least you know that you've completed everything and you're ready to move on to Prep B. So C major scales, right hand, left hand, and then the pentascale, legato and staccato. That is required in the Prep A exam. So pentascale is not pentatonic scale, it's just 5 notes up and 5 notes down, and they want to end it with a 1 chord. And it has to also be done staccato. There's also a sticker for C major scale with chords. Now at the beginning of the year, I mean, in our teacher's manuals there's so many ideas and techniques to teach how to do this, so I'm not going to go there. But just to say that at the beginning of the year it's very slow. This is C with the 1 chord. This is D with the hugging, or the 5/7 chord. This, and then as you move on, you know, by the time you get to G major, with a 1 chord, A with 5/7 chord, B with the 1 chord, and then throughout the year they're going to get quicker and quicker. So it's not a speed test. It can go really slow at the beginning. C major is complete, on to A minor, G major, E minor, D major, and F major. F major does not have a pentascale. It's not required in RCM, and just thought that one less thing for us to worry about is a good thing. So just up to F major, because there's songs in, or there's pieces in their K section and their W, work in their W section of their books in F major, so we needed to address it here as well. And the only other one is the C major triads, solid and broken. So I have a card to show you to help with the inverting triads, and also one to next I'll show you about the chords in the scale. But I just give out the inverting triads one at the end of the year, because the following year, next year, we start with that cadence, and that's a really tall order if we haven't even got to inverting triads yet. So end sunbeams 2, moonbeams 1, with the idea of, you know, triad inversions, just slowly, hand separately, and then the beginning of next year will go a whole lot easier when you start talking about the cadence. Plus, the end of the year, it's time. It's time for them to learn how to invert triads, for sure. Second year in sunbeams, yes. So solid and broken. Now in Prep A, they do not invert triads. All they do is one chords. Okay, only white notes, and solid and broken. Okay, so that's required for Prep A if you're wanting to do that. But this sticker here is actually inverting chords, and it's inverting a triad, and it's in the middle, and it's only in C major, solid, broken, hand separately. Okay, I'll show you how we do that in a minute. So that is the Scales and Skills card. Goes in their binder. Next I'll show you the Tools card. These are the tools that they collect this year. 9 of them, just like all the other levels have 9 of them. And the beginning of the year would be the Igloo Push and the Tractor Pull opposite way, just little tugs. So talking about really working the back of the hand, muscles in the back of the hand, don't let it collapse, your fingers have to be nice and strong and round. And then this way it's muscles on the inside of the hand, little tugs with your thumbs free. It's good when you work muscles or do a strengthening exercise to end with something relaxing. So we usually do a squeeze and a stretch, squeeze and a stretch, and then just shake the water off. Pretend you can't find the towel and you have to shake the water off. So it's just really relaxed. Crab walk scale is a thumb exercise, and just to get your fingers equal with your thumb. So C major, and whether you want to start with your thumb or a finger, doesn't matter. Up the scale so that somebody's looking, they cannot tell which one is your thumb and which one is your finger. Maybe they could play it for Mom, and Mom has to guess, did you start with your thumb or you start with your finger? Hopefully they cannot tell. The instructions for all of these are on the back, right? Another thing to watch out for on that one is that their thumb actually moves. It doesn't just stay still and their wrist goes down to play the note. So their thumb actually has to go up and down to play the note. So they can tell if that's working properly by looking at their wrist. If the wrist is fairly level, then they're doing a good job. If it drops, no, that's not good. You want to keep it nice and on the same height, the wrist. Okay, similar to that is the legato scale between hands, and there's so much repertoire with melodies shared between the right hand and the left hand. We need to teach that whether their right hand plays or the left hand plays, it has to be the same. We have to control the amount of sound. So the scale goes finger 3, finger 3, finger 3, finger 3, finger 3. And there should be no difference in sound as if we just used one hand. And they can change, they can do all their scales. They learn 3 scales this year. No, lots of scales. What am I trying? I thought we were on the other. They learn lots of scales this year. So whatever they're doing, they can play that scale with just finger 3. Overlap, equal legato, and equal amount of sound. They can do finger 2s, finger 4s, a bit tricky, but why not? And then the next one is the 3-note slur. To start the 3-note slur, it's probably a good idea to start with the dropping into the keys with some arm weight, walk over to the next key, and then float off the last key. So it's like a 3-note slur. Right? So loud, equal, and lighter, and floating up. Like the helium balloon float at the end, right? Sometime during the year, perhaps later, you could revisit that and tell them, you know, sometimes we have to put the accent on the last note. It's just like some words. Banana, we accent the middle note. everywhere. Beautiful. That's accenting the first note. Trampoline. That accents the last note. Clarinet accents the last note. And instead of floating off, you kind of push off. Go to there, go to there, or go to there, go to there. Right? So that you push off the last note rather than float off the last note. Because in their repertoire, again, they're going to have cases that they have to do it both ways. So, good to pre-teach it here. The trill exercise, just a little bit of sideways action of the rock and roll that we did before. It won't go that fast, but just to get side to side, and it's really good for their fingers, equal. Swan landing is to land with some arm weight, and the swan is your finger 3, and it's going to land in the C, so it lands, sinks, floats, and flies up, and lands in the next C. Sink, float, and fly, and sink, float, and fly, and sink, float, and fly. That's what that's about. Eyes closed scale. Sight reading, all kinds of things. They need to not look at their fingers. So any kind of scale they play this year, no looking. So you can maybe cover their hand with a card, mom can, or children can hold the card in the left hand and play the scale with the right hand, hold it in the right hand, play the scale with the left hand. It's kind of cool that they realize that they can actually play the piano without looking. It's really good. Make them feel proud of that their fingers know so much that they can find the keys all by themselves. And the contrary motion pentascale. So this is at the end of the year, and I just thought it's a good time to start thinking about doing 2 different things in each hand. So probably starting on 2 C's. Easy, right? The notes are easy, so you can add 1 hand legato and 1 hand staccato. Really slowly at first. Probably a good idea to start with 2 different C's rather than the same C. It's hard to play 1 legato and 1 staccato on the same C. And so like 4 counts each at first. Big whole note. And the other one has to come right off the keys, really high. Right? And then as you speed up, you don't come up so high, and later on in the year you're going to go quicker. And then if you're very clever, you could do, on the way out, different than on the way in, so it's good to have a little challenge. So there is your tool cards that goes along with this year. We've talked about the scales and skills stickers, which they have to earn before they can stick on. These cards I give them when they are assigned the exercise. So I discuss how to do it, show them how to do it, they can hear how to do it, they can try it in the class, and I give them the card for their toolbox. And since it's in their toolbox, they have to play it, and they have to review the other cards in their toolbox a couple times during the week as well. This card is a chord progression card, and it goes along with the scale and just shows which chord goes with every note of the scale. They are colored, again, because we're trying to save teachers time. Teachers don't have to put all those stickers on in class. We can just focus on the orange ones or focus on the blue ones. Actually, the blue ones are the first ones. So blue ones are all the 1 chords. And this week, all the right hand scale, we're going to play all the notes in the right hand, but only the 1 chords, the blue ones in the left hand. It shows them which ones go with that chord. If you have a specific system for certain colors, for certain harmonies, then you just put stickers over top. But, so this is C with a 1 chord, this is D with a hugging or 5/7 chord, this is C with a 1 chord, whatever you use. This you can use for all the different keys, and if you need a reminder about that 7 up note, or anything, you can just write on the page protector with a dry erase marker. If it doesn't come off nicely, you can always turn the card backwards in the page protector and you've got a whole nother clean page that can go along for a few more weeks until you mess up that card. But normally they will erase. Okay, so just a little tool to help them remember. They don't even need this card the whole year through. They're going to have it down basically by feel and by the sound of it before probably halfway through the year, whatever it takes, whatever they need. And the last card I'll show you is a Triad Tutor, which is new this year. Very cool, I think. So these black stripes line up with the notes of the triad. It's hard to believe because they don't look even, but they do. So at the end of the year, when you're starting to teach about inverting triads, this is given to them. Their fingering is at the top, the left hand here, and the right hand here, with finger 2 circled, because that's the one that is tough to remember, right? So over the summer, they can work with this. It lines up with major chords only. I can't move my camera because I don't think I'll ever get it back in the right spot. So I grabbed a keyboard to show you. But maybe I can also show you a recording that I have one of my students working with. Anyways, this is how it works. It goes behind the keys of the keyboard, and it lines up perfectly to any major. There's C major. D major lines up with F sharp, so they can see to make that a major triad. They need a black key. E major, even like F sharp major works, G flat major, whatever, it all lines up. E flat, let's go to E flat, it'll line up with the white note in the middle. This is very cool. So over the summer, they maybe could go up all the notes, the white notes, and say, is that a major chord? What does it sound like? What does it look like? No, it's not major because it lines up with the black key. So that must be a minor chord. How about if we start here? How about if we start here? The other thing they could do is maybe find a major triad starting on every note of the scale, or every note on the piano, because they can actually see it from F sharp, G flat, A flat, whatever. So pretty cool Triad Tutor, and that hopefully will help them. Well, I know it does. It helps them find the notes when they're inverting their triad at the end of the year. Okay, so I think that's all the bits of the Constructors Toolbox. We've talked about the scales and skill stickers, we've talked about the tool cards, talked about the Triad Tutor and the chord progression card. The sticker goes on their certificate at the end of the year, whether they've started with this one in Moonbeams 1, or if they've done basic, they'll already have the one sticker on the certificate. This year they're going to get the second sticker on their certificate. If you start in Moonbeams 1, you can buy both toolboxes in Moonbeams 1 and quickly go through the basic just so they have it in their binder, so they're not very expensive. Or you just go through all the elements in their student activity book, check them off, whatever. So they have at least looked at those elements from the basic, and they get 2 stickers this year, if this is their first year in Constructors in Moonbeams 1. And keep your certificate in your binder, because next year we're going to add another sticker when we finish the Journeymans. Private students can go faster. They don't have to spend a whole year in each level. You can move them through as they are able to, and maybe complete 2 in a year, whatever. It's up to them and you. So there you go. It's a really nice collection just to inspire them a little bit more to practice their technique, and to remind them that it is important, that they do have to spend some time to collect these skills to create a really good foundation of how to play the piano well. And I hope you see some improvement. You will. With your students, you'll hear some improvement, see some improvement, and create a little bit more motivation for the kids to enjoy practicing their technique. So have fun. Bye.